Jesus, the timeless one, was perfect in his timing. He knew when he would be seized. He knew the brutality of the cross before him, and yet he went through with it nonetheless. His hour, however, has not yet come as of the events of John chapter 8, beginning in verse 19. Then they asked him, "Where is your Father?" "You know neither me nor my Father," Jesus answered. "If you knew me, you would also know my Father." He spoke these words by the treasury while teaching in the temple, but no one seized him because his hour had not yet come. So he's teaching in the temple, right at the center of things. He's by the treasury, where a lot of decisions are made, in a very public place. There were a lot of people who like to go to the treasury to make a big show out of their gifts. See the story of the widow's mite, M-I-T-E. Jesus is teaching in the temple, and he's making these statements overtly and openly defying the Pharisees, openly defying the religious leadership of the day. And yet nobody seized him. Why? Because his time had not yet come. Jesus, the timeless one, was perfect in his timing. The statement that he makes is profound. If you knew me, you would also know my Father. This is essential to the unity of the Trinity, that the Father and the Son are one, along with the Holy Spirit. Jesus says you can't know God the Father if you don't know me. If you don't believe in me, you don't believe in my Father. You cannot be saved with an incomplete Trinity. You cannot be saved believing in God the Father but denying that Jesus is the Son. You cannot be saved apart from the drawing of the Father. No one can confess that Jesus is Lord apart from the power of the Holy Spirit. So you see each beautiful aspect of the Trinity at work in the conversion moment. The Father draws you by the power of the Spirit. You confess the Son and you are saved. If you deny Jesus, you're denying the Father. So I'm sorry, there are not multiple ways to God. That's a false teaching. And Jesus doesn't give us that option. It is not within Jesus' own teachings about himself to reduce him merely to a moral teacher, to reduce him merely to one of multiple paths to God. By his own teaching here, if you don't know Jesus, you don't know God the Father. So pray for Israel. God's not done with Israel. They deny Jesus, but they believe in Yahweh. This means they don't really know God. But God's not done with Israel. The book of Revelation prophesies a massive coming revival within Israel. But also consider our culture today that would like to take Jesus and put him, just as the ancient Romans did, along with the rest of their pantheon. And say, like, look, we like these things about Jesus. Let's take them, eisegete them, meaning pluck them from their context and put them alongside all of our other views, practicing something called syncretism. Jesus does not play well with other gods. It's either Jesus or hell. It's either salvation or nothing. Jesus himself does not give us the option to include him in any pantheon, any collection of gods. And if you don't know Jesus, there's no other way to be saved. There's no other way to God the Father. These are Jesus's own words. So it's not I making this, not me making this exclusive claim to the truth. It's Jesus himself. So you must come to a decision point. And you can also invite others with whom you share your faith to come to that same decision point. Are you accusing Jesus of lying? I believe him. I pray that you do too. And when you see people try to amalgamate Jesus into something that he's not, read this passage to them and light up their darkness.